Okay, so what I want to do is to give you guys a little feedback that's going to help everybody. Amir has gone and turned his InDesign file in, and I wanted to go through it. Overall it looks great. He's done a wonderful job, but there's some problems with it, and I wanted to kind of critique this so that I can have everybody look at it, and so you can apply this knowledge to your own pieces. Okay, so I'm not picking on him. He's just the first one. So he's de facto volunteered to allow me to critique his work, which his work is really good, but there's some issues. And then hopefully everybody will learn from this and apply it back to yours so that you won't have the same things. Okay, so first of all, he submitted his InDesign file, but he didn't do a package. And since he didn't do a package, I'm going to get errors. So right off the bat, it's telling me I have 13 links that are missing. Okay, and what these links are is they're links to the images that he put in here. Okay, so InDesign does not embed high quality images into it. It embeds like proxy images into it. So it's linking to those images, and that's why it's the same thing that I had you guys do with Illustrator. You have to do a package which gives me the InDesign file, or in the other case like the Illustrator file, but then it gives me all the fonts and it gives me all the linked images, and those all come along with it. Okay, so right off the bat I'm getting an error message because he didn't give me all of the stuff that was with it. Okay, so I'm going to click OK and go past that. So here's his piece, and it's got a lot of great things about it. Okay, but there are some issues. Okay, right off the bat, I don't know if you can tell, but the quality of this render that's in here is really bad. Okay, and that's because he didn't convert these. He didn't take his renders into Photoshop and convert them to CMYK. And he didn't convert them to 300 DPI, so these are 72 DPI. Now, how you can check your stuff is if you go up here to View, and you go down to Display Performance, one of the things you're going to want to do is turn your display performance into high quality, okay? Because it'll do a proxy. So some of this serration and everything and where it looks bad could be just because of the display. So I'm going to switch my display to high quality, which will give me a better quality display, and I'm still having problems with it. Now, if I go to Window and I go to Info, it's going to bring up this little info window. Okay, and by the way, F8 is the toggle for this. And then if I click on his image, it's going to give me information, and it's telling me right here that this image is 72 DPI. So this image is not print quality. It's quality for displaying on a computer monitor, but it's not print quality. So I've already put up a video and a page on how to convert your files. It's real easy to convert them, but you need to convert them before you bring them in. Okay. So, it should have, when I clicked on it, it should have read 300 DPI. Okay. Now, another thing, I'm just going to go from the beginning and go down, is that's a problem right off the bat, is this is not his logo. Here is the approved logo. This is what's on his bottles. If you look in his renders, this is what's on his bottles. Where he decided at some point to jump ship and totally change this, I don't know, okay? Because the ligature is correct, though this ligature is a really bad quality. This ligature is correct, but this is the approved font. This is the approved layout for his branding. So, he's kind of out in left field here. I don't know where he went left. I don't know. I mean, these fonts are not approved. This is what's approved. This is what's on his bottle. So that's an issue. You guys can't just forget that you've done any work prior to going to this. You've already done the work to the company. The company has approved the ligature you've done. Okay, they love it. They approve the fonts that you're using for their branding of their company. They love it. You can't just all of a sudden say, oh, well, I don't need to follow that. I'll just invent something else. Okay. You can't do that. So this needs to be reworked. Okay. Plus, this quality of this image is not good. I mean, it's got all serrated and stuff. So there's an issue with this. When you exported this out of Illustrator, you didn't make it big enough to come in here. Now, so you're going to have to replace this image. Okay. All right. So let's go in here. Okay. Same problem here with this image is it hadn't been converted. Okay. Now he's got a he's got a nice render. He just hadn't converted it. Okay. Let me go over and grab that. Okay. So here's the render that he posted. Okay. It's a nice render. Nice big render. I do have a problem with this line going back there. I don't know what's caused this. I think he maybe he put this on a piece of geometry and he didn't build a cyc wall, but this is distracting, that line going back to there. But this is a nice piece. I mean, it's a nice piece designed. I probably maybe would have punched it. He's got issues with that he exported his logo too small out when he exported it. I'll do a video on that too. His image that he's putting on his labels are too small and they're falling apart. You'll see little rough edges to things, and you'll see like a little white rim around it, and that's all because of the quality of the image that he brought in. He didn't bring a quality image in. Okay, but let's I'm going to take this image and I'm going to take it into Photoshop. And I'll make a new image. So he rendered it out. It's 72 dpi, which is what all renders will be. And he rendered out 1507 by 2109. That's a good size. Okay, so we'll just paste it in here. But now this has got to be converted for print. Okay, so right off the bat, we're going to have to go to image mode and change it from RGB to CMYK. It needs to be CMYK because it's print. It's not for display on a computer. We can just use this default US Web coded. Coded means for glossy paper. So this is a default to print on glossy paper, CMYK. When you're dealing with a printer, they may have a different one they want you to use, but the default profile in here is fine for what we're doing. So we'll click OK. So now this is CMYK, and then I'm going to go to image, image size, and we can check this. So if I go up here and I go pixels, you'll see there's our 1507 by 2172. Okay, but now we want to change the resolution to 300. To do that, you turn off this resample image. Okay, if I did 300 here, which is going to enlarge the image and it's going to look horrible. So we don't want to resample it. Okay, we're just going to change the resolution. Okay, so you'll see right now that as soon as I did that, it switched to inches, and this thing is huge. It's 29 inches by 20 inches. That's because it's 72 dpi. Once I type this in and I type 300, now it's down to the size that's correct for him. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just save this out. Actually, I'm going to export it as a PNG. So, file, export, quick export as a PNG. Okay, so once I've got that exported out, then we'll go back over in here. Okay, so I've exported it, and now I'm going to bring it in. So all I have to do is find it in the folder, and then I can drag it. And if I hold down the Alt key, I can drop it, and it'll go right into place. And now you'll see this is a nice higher quality image. Okay. So that's one of the things that you guys need to do is make sure that you've converted all of your renders and anything that you've downloaded off the internet. So any of these photos, okay, I can look at this again. I can go in here to info and look at this. Okay, see, this is a 96 pixels. This one's 72. Okay, so any image that you take off of the internet, it's going to be low pixels. Okay, most all of them would be 72. Then you just got to save them and then bring them into Photoshop and convert them to their RGB, convert them to CYK, convert them to 300, and then bring them in. Okay, and if you've already got them loaded in like what he's got, it's fine. All you have to do is do it, hold down your Alt key and drag it in here, and it'll just drop right back into place, but it'll replace your low quality image with a high quality image. I mean, a high quality image. Okay, he's got some other issues too. If we go to view, we want to go to screen mode, and we want this on normal right here. And now I can see my trap lines. Now he's got 3 columns in here, and we can switch this. Let's go up here to our parent and double click on this. And we're going to go to layout margins and columns, and let's change this to 1 column. Okay, we'll need to do that on this second page too. We're not really using columns, but I'm going to show you why this is an advantage for us. Okay, so now when I go to one of these pages, this outside line, okay, this outside line is the line in which that you should not have any information going outside this line. You can have color for a bleed, but you shouldn't have information going out here. Now he's got it correct over here. You'll see that his this logo, which is not his logo, which needs to be replaced, and his text are inside that line are fine. But if you'll see, these page numbers are not. These page numbers are outside of there. So your printer's going to have a heart attack because you've got placed those so close to the edge. So what you want to do is hug these, okay, right inside of this line. And by the way, your arrow keys allow you to move them. And if you're getting close and it's not exactly matching up, if you hold down the Control Shift, then you can move it just a little bit at a time to get it right into that corner. And that's where this should be. Okay, so he's placing things outside of the safe area for printing. This image is outside of the safe area. So now if you were having this so that you were bleeding it off, it would be okay. But if this is floating out here, okay, this needs to go inside of that line. Inside of that line, this is the safe zone. And now you can see this is, you know, it's too big because it's clipping in on his piece. And so this needs to be, you know, scaled down, maybe more like that. It's still a little crowded, but it's okay. And here again, you know, this has got to be inside of that line. And I'll tell you that you'll have printers calling you when they see this, if they see it outside of that they can't guarantee that it's not going to be cut off. So really your render of your image, all of that should be, you know, inside of that. See, he's outside here. This text is going to be cut off because it's going outside and it's going to be clipped off. This line right here is the edge, and if there's any play, which there will be in cutting it, that S is going to get cut off. So this shouldn't be, you know, this should be brought back in. A couple of things too, I noticed that, let me see. Okay, so like he's got these lines that he's using in here. And these are supposed to be, I'm holding the Shift key down to select all of these, and these are supposed to be equally spaced, and they're not. You can see that this space is different than this, okay? If I go over to my Properties panel, And right here, what I want to do is go in here where this says use spacing, and I can dictate what the spacing is. Now, right now, I don't know what this is. I'm going to say maybe 0.6. And then I click this button, and it's going to space them. Okay, man, that was pretty close. So, 0.4 would get them tighter together. So it looks like 0.6 was about correct. And so this needs to be consistent on each one of his pieces. And I need to do this one here too. So this one here, and correct that spacing. So, okay, another thing. He's got, by default, InDesign does this, Photoshop does it too, and it drives me at the wall. It's got hyphenation on here, and we don't want hyphenation. Okay, you see where it's breaking this word in two? There's no reason here, pineapple's broken two. There's no reason when it's flush left and it's ragged right that you ever have a hyphenation. Okay, and so we need to set that. We need to fix that. So you have to be in your selection tool. You can't be in the direct selection tool. You got to be in the selection tool. And when you pick this, if you'll go down under paragraphs here, you'll see there's hyphenation. And if you'll watch when I turn this off, it's going to fix this. And so now it's not hyphenated anymore. Okay. Drives me up the wall when we're doing flush left, ragged right, that we have hyphenations and breaking words into. And you have to really watch it, because it'll break, like if you're talking about your company, it'll break the company's name in two. Okay, so like if it was down in here and you were mentioning Tangy Bliss, it would split it where Tangy's on one line and Bliss is on another line, or hyphenate it, and we never hyphenate our company's name. Now you'll notice there's question marks in here. Okay, these question marks, that's where everything is missing. Okay, so these images are low quality proxy images that would not print well, and so that's why you guys have to give me the package and not just give me the InDesign itself, but give me a package. Okay, so is there anything else on this? I mean, overall, this is a really nice piece. I mean, this is going to be a nice piece for his portfolio. Did some nice renders. Love the way he's, put the caps around. Of course, the quality is really bad, but he's just got to replace these. He's got to go in there, take his renders he's already done. It doesn't need to re-render anything. Of course, I don't know. I would have a tendency, I don't like that line back there, but, these are all things that could be just tweaked, But this is a really nice piece. We definitely need to replace the images with higher quality images. So all of those, this image, all of these need to be taken into Photoshop and converted from RGB to CMYK, and then converted from 72 or whatever they are into 300, and then brought back in. Okay, it's a nice piece. Okay, everybody needs to check your stuff just to make sure that everything is high quality. And anytime that you're looking at your stuff, I mean, he should have been able to look at this and go, okay, this doesn't look good. I mean, you have to be critical to yourself and not just go, oh, well, I got it done, let me put it in. Does it look good? Okay. See, this type down here is nice and tight. This is because this is actual type, and this was created inside of Illustrator. And then when he kicked it out of Illustrator, he didn't kick it out at a high enough resolution, and that's why it's causing a problem. It's also causing a problem in his renders of his logos. Okay, these probably are small enough that we can't see it. No, I can see it. I mean, I see it right there. You see a little line right there? These little edges. This is all, it is rough, and it's all because he didn't kick it out a high enough quality out of Photoshop when he was making his transparent PNGs to pull into here. Let me pull that up and I'll show you. Here's an image that I made. to kind of show you guys what to follow. Okay, so when you're doing your logos, okay, at 72, we want this at least to be 1200 pixels. Okay, when you convert this to 300 dpi, it'd be 4 inches. Okay, so you need to make sure that you're converting your logos to a high quality so that when you're bringing them in, we don't get those little serrated edges on your bottle, as well as a subtle thing you can see is if your bottle's got you can see a little pin line around it, like a little white line or a little black line around it. That's because of the quality of your file. It was just too small. It needs to be bigger. Export this stuff out bigger. It's all vector. So when you're in Photoshop, all you got to do is go to image size, and kick up your image size like 300%. And then export out that PNG out of there, and it'll be a high quality, so you won't get those things in your renders or in your final piece. Okay, that's what I got. Hopefully this will help you guys. And like I said, he's got a great piece. He's just got to tighten a couple things up, and then this is Merry Christmas. Show your parents. Okay. All right. Reach out to me if you guys have any other questions. All right. Thank you.